Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Speed Build Monday, everybody's favorite day except for the fact that it is Monday, and today I have a house for you that I don't really know what I'm going to call it yet. It's going to be something along the lines of like Landscape Dream or Landscaper's Delight, something like that, because it's got a lot to do with landscaping. And if you guys know me or have watched any of my videos in the past, you know that I am no good at landscaping. But this house was inspired by a house that's actually somewhere in my neighborhood. I was out for a walk this evening and I saw it and I was like, wow, that is a very nicely landscaped house. That's what you think of when you're an adult. You're like, wow, that's very nicely landscaped. So I was like, you know what? I'm not quite ready to do the modern big build that I have coming up. It's coming. I'm going to have to do it at some point. So I decided instead to do the landscaping house. The house where it's still a bit of a challenge because I was like, man, I suck at landscaping. So also this pause here is because I literally went into Street View and looked at the house to see what is it. I can't remember how the roofs go and I was having a hard time. So I think it's very cute. It's pretty small. It's 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. It's got an abnormally large dining room for only 1 sim. Like, it's got a giant dining room table and it's very unnecessary and everything else is really small. But just the way that the house was laid out, it made sense, I guess. I personally really, really like the inside because it's cozy. It's nice and cozy and very old, I guess. Not old in the sense that it like looks old, but it's definitely made for an older person. It's not modern in any sense. It's yeah, it's very nice. And so I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I was very shocked. I also thoroughly enjoyed the landscaping. I have to do things with rocks, and the only thing I don't like about the Sims 4 rocks is how big they are, and they don't have a lot of smaller options. And the way that this house is actually landscaped is it's small rocks that are outlining sort of like a bushy flower area, and they didn't have any of those in the Sims 4, so I had to kind of make it work, like Tim Gunn says, like the great Tim Gunn, make it work. So I think it turned out okay. I also put rocks around the trees, and the backyard is sort of a lot of cement, and there's a pool. It's definitely not made for anybody with kids, obviously, considering it's a 1 bedroom house. But the backyard just is more meant for someone who's a little bit older. Which was it last week that I built the no kids allowed house? One of these weeks I built the no kids, so I'm going through a no kids phase. Also made my favorite path, which is like the sideways path. Really doesn't make much sense to have it go like that, but you know. Also, the real house has a garage, but because the Sims 4 doesn't have cars, I couldn't put that in. So I went with windows instead, because I don't exactly like doing the fake garage and then sizing up the toy cars. I just think it looks too fake, and you can't drive the car, so it seems a little fake for me. But you know, happy October. Can you believe that it is already October? I am shook. I do not want it to be October. Actually, I kind of like October. Not the biggest Halloween fan, but I do enjoy the month of October. Like, I don't know, I like Halloween movies. I think that's the one thing I like the most is Halloween movies. I don't know. I don't go out to I've been to a few Halloween parties. They're just not my thing. It's crowded wherever you go. I'll eat the candy though. So that's fun. Also, big exciting news. If you follow me on Twitter, if you don't, why not? If you do, well, actually, I'm not super active on my Twitter. So I'm going to try and be more active on my Twitter. But if you do follow me on Twitter, then you will know that I cut off most of my hair. Probably about 60% of my hair is gone, which anyone who knows me in real life knows that I've always had long hair. I think I've cut it short maybe 3 times in my entire life at 23, and one of those times my grandma did it or took me to salon and had her do it, and I didn't want it and I was very upset. But it was definitely one of those moments that I think everybody goes through in their life at least once, where it's just like I I can't do it anymore. I was so frustrated, not necessarily with my hair, but just with everything. It was super fried at the bottoms. It was a different color at the bottoms because I dyed it. So I was just like, I'm gonna screw it, and I cut it. And then I got it actually like fixed. So it's actually even and not choppy. But I tend to do that when I go short and it's my own decision. I'm the one who does it because I just I go through this thing where I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. I'm too frustrated. And so I chop it all off. And that's what happened. I chopped it all off. Not all of it, because I'm not that crazy. I think this is the shortest it's ever been. I think it's definitely a bob of some sort. It comes to my, like, just before my shoulders. Like, it touches the bottom of my shoulders. So, or like the tops of my shoulders, I guess I should say. So it's definitely short. I love it, though. I love it when it's straight. It's nice. And I was very worried because I thought maybe it wouldn't look good with bangs, but it actually looks kind of good with bangs because I do have bangs. And so I don't want to have to put them up all the time, and because that's annoying in and of itself. So I was like, my next hairstyle has to be good with bangs. So it was. And it's nice and soft and smooth, and it's just like not fried at the ends, and I'm so happy. So it's a good decision. I personally have never made the decision to cut my hair and done it myself and been unhappy with the result. I have many times. This is why I do cut my own hair. It's because I've gone to the salon 1,000 times in my life, and every single time they have gotten it wrong. And I can't, because I think, I don't know why. Maybe I'm not explaining what I want right. I don't know. It's hard. Like, one time I went to a salon and I was like, I want it just like past my shoulders. Like, I want it to kind of like flow down past my shoulders, and she cut it to where sort of to where it is now, which is just touching my shoulders, and I was like, this is not even close to what I wanted. Maybe it's I don't like layering, but every time I ask for layers, I don't like the results, and that could just be me, not to the fault of the hairdresser. Also, one time I asked for it to like frame my face, and to be fair, this was like it was a cheap like 5 and dime haircut place, which I never did again. But she like did the choppiest job of like, here's a layer, and then went down a little bit more, and here's a layer, and then went down a little bit more. I was like, here's a layer, and I was like, that's not how you frame your face. Even I know that. And then a few months after that, I went to a hairstylist who was pretty expensive, and I was like, I don't know, can you give me side bangs? And she's like, yeah, what happened with your like choppy ass hair? And I was like, well, that's because someone, like the previous person, did that, and I don't know what she did. She's like, okay, I'm gonna try and fix it. I was like, great, yes, fix it. And she gave me side bangs, but she started the side bangs way on, like, it's hard to explain without seeing it, but side bangs are supposed to like swoop from one side to the other. So I wanted them to swoop from my right to left, and she cut them at the very end of my left. So like basically what a strand of hair should have been framing my face was, she made into side bangs, quote unquote. They were not bangs at all, and so I was super pissed about that. And then I wanted actual bangs, and so I cut them myself, and ever since then I've been cutting my own bangs. So, and I like them. I think sometimes I do mess up, not gonna lie. You know, sometimes I get them too short, or I get the framing pieces wrong, but it's trial and error, okay? So yeah, I cut my own hair, and then I got it straightened out. My mom is pretty good at like straightening it out, and then once I get it straight in the back, I can do like the framing of my face. And if you watch any YouTube videos on people cutting their hair, it is totally doable. I wouldn't, if you want like a super professional looking cut, you're not gonna be able to do that for yourself. Go and get it professionally cut. Personally, I wear my hair up like 80% of the time, so I'm not overly upset if it doesn't look super duper professional. As long as it looks straight in the back, I don't really care. So I cut my hair off, which is super exciting. I'm a big fan of the length of it. I think it's very cute. I like it a lot. I'll see how it is curled. My hair is very tough to curl. It doesn't hold a curl very well because it's very thick, and it used to be very long. So we'll see how it does that way. But as far as straight goes, I am a big fan. Anyway, next week is Canadian Thanksgiving, so that's fun. I may build a special house for that. I think I might, like a big family home where you have like a giant dining room for like the big Thanksgiving. I'm going to go to my grandparents for Thanksgiving. So yeah, that's exciting in and of itself. Have I said in and of itself many times this build? I'm sorry. Anyway, here is the large. It's not large, like the room itself is not large, but the table is pretty large for a 1-bedroom house. It is a large dining room, but also has a like eating nook, so there's a lot of places to eat your food, okay? If you enjoy that. But I do like the color scheme of it, and I like how cozy this house is. So yeah, I'm very proud of it. I like the landscaping, which is very rare of me to like my own landscaping. So I'm going to finish up this voiceover and then do the fly through, which I might actually film tomorrow because it is Sunday night and I have tomorrow off, so I can do it in the morning. It takes so long, but I really like the end result, so it's like, and I always leave it to the last minute. Mind you, I've left this build to the last minute too. Always builds and renos last minute. It's because I like to feel inspired when I build them, and I had to go for that walk and pass that one house and be like, this is the house I want to build. So I did it. I think the house is a little bit bigger. And I could have made stairs to the upstairs, but that would have made the downstairs that much smaller, and it wasn't. No, I wanted just one level. I wanted the focus primarily to be on the landscaping, so I didn't make it a huge house. Who has like 6 kids and can also take care of a landscaped house? In The Sims, it's not impossible because you don't have to do anything with it, but still, it's the thought, okay? So I made it for someone who probably retired, I don't know, or a single person who doesn't want kids but loves to garden or landscape. This house is for you. Very much so. I like it. Anyway, guys, we are finishing up here with the backyard. So if you like this video, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay updated on all this nonsense, make sure that subscribe button. It's a very cement backyard. It's how, I don't know, I just kind of like having the cement go all the way around the pool. And then a little grassy patch here I put planter boxes instead of making an actual place to plant because it's sort of like if you would rather put plants here than these planter boxes, that's fine, but you can't put those in build by mode. So it's kind of like an indication, like this is what I dedicate this to. So, and then there's just some bush on the side of the pool for an added fun privacy. I don't know what your privacy from because you have a big fence, but anyway, guys, I will see you all in my next video. So I hope you have a wonderful Monday, and don't worry, it'll be Tuesday soon, and then soon enough it'll be the weekend, and it's a long weekend next weekend for Canadians. Americans, you have to wait a little bit longer, but that's okay because it's almost Halloween, and then it's almost Christmas, and that makes me go crazy because I love Christmas. Anyway, guys, I will see you all in my next video. I already said that. Bye.